He called his wife sterile in court, but one envelope destroyed his lies and changed his life forever. The courtroom felt colder than the winter morning outside. Not because of the air, but because of the silence. I sat on the wooden bench, my hands resting in my lap, fingers tightly locked together. My palms were damp. I kept rubbing my thumb over my ring finger out of habit, even though the ring had been gone for 7 years. The walls were pale, almost lifeless, and the long windows let in a dull grey light that made everything feel heavy. Then I saw him. He walked in like he owned the room. Tall, confident, dressed in a dark, expensive suit that fit him perfectly. The same posture, the same sharp jaw, the same eyes that once looked at me with love and now looked right through me. My husband. My ex-husband. 7 years. 7 years since he walked out of my life without looking back. He sat across from me, not too far, not too close. Close enough for me to see the small scar near his eyebrow. I remembered how he got it, laughing as I cleaned the blood from his face. That memory burned in my chest, and I quickly looked away. The judge entered. Everyone stood. Then Saturday. The sound of the gavel echoed, and my heart jumped. This was it. The end of everything we once were. The judge spoke calmly, asking simple questions. Names. Dates. Papers. My ex answered without hesitation, his voice steady and clear. I answered softly, almost afraid my voice might shake if I spoke too loud. When the judge asked the reason for the divorce, the room grew tense. My ex stood up slowly. I could feel it before he spoke. That familiar feeling. The one I used to feel right before he hurt me with words. He adjusted his suit and looked at the judge, then briefly at me. His eyes were cold. Our marriage ended because she couldn't give me a child, he said. Then he paused. She is sterile. The word cut deep. It felt like all the air was pulled out of my lungs. A quiet gasp escaped me, but I swallowed it quickly. I stared at the table in front of me, afraid that if I looked up, everyone would see the truth written all over my face. Sterile. I heard whispers behind me. Soft gasps. Judging breaths. My mind drifted back to a small house we once shared. The smell of evening tea. The sound of rain on the roof. Nights when he held my hand and promised we would grow old together. Nights when he said children could wait. That love was enough. Until it wasn't. Until doctors. Until tests. Until blame. I remembered standing in front of him, holding papers with shaking hands, trying to explain. Trying to tell him what the doctor really said. But he didn't listen. He was already angry. Already disappointed. Already gone. In the courtroom, my chest felt tight. I pressed my lips together to keep from crying. The judge nodded, writing something down. My ex sat back down, calm again, like he had just stated a simple fact. Like he hadn't shattered something fragile inside me. I held my bag closer to my side. Inside it was nothing important. No papers. No proof. Just a reminder of the long road I had walked alone. I didn't speak. I didn't defend myself. Not yet. Because I knew this story wasn't over. And I knew the truth was waiting, quietly, patiently, for the right moment to be heard. The courtroom felt smaller now, like the walls were slowly closing in. Every sound felt louder than it should have been. The soft scratch of the judge's pen. The quiet cough of someone sitting behind me. The slow, steady breathing of the man who once promised me forever. My ex-husband stood again, walking a few steps forward. His shoes made a sharp sound against the floor, confident and controlled. He spoke like a man used to being believed. I work hard for everything I have, he said. I wanted a family to share it with. A home filled with children. But I was denied that. He didn't look at me while he spoke. It was as if I wasn't even there. As if I was just a mistake he wanted erased. I clenched my hands under the table. 7 years ago, we had sat in a different room. A small clinic that smelled of medicine and fear. I remembered the doctor's calm voice, the papers spread out in front of us. I remembered my ex's face turning hard, his jaw tight, his eyes burning with anger. "This is your fault," he had said that night, throwing the papers onto the table. "You've ruined my future." I had tried to speak, tried to explain what the doctor really said, but he had already made up his mind. In the courtroom, his voice pulled me back to the present. She knew how important children were to me. he continued. Yet she hid the truth. She wasted my time. The words stung more than I expected. Not because they were new, but because they were lies spoken with such ease. I felt the judge's eyes move toward me. "Do you wish to respond?" the judge asked. My heart skipped. For a moment, fear wrapped around my throat. I thought of the long nights I spent alone, the tears I wiped away in silence, the secret I carried that no one here knew. I lifted my head slowly. "I never said I couldn't have children," I said. My voice was soft but clear. "Not once." My ex turned toward me sharply, a small smile forming on his lips. It was the same smile he used to wear when he thought he had one. "You don't have to lie anymore," he said. "This is court. The truth matters now." Something about his words felt wrong. Too sure. Too proud. I watched him closely. The way his fingers tightened for a second. The way his eyes avoided mine just a moment longer than needed. He thought he was safe. He thought this was over. The judge raised his hand, stopping him from speaking again. "There is a document submitted to this court," the judge said. "It was delivered this morning." My breath caught in my chest. The judge looked down at a thick, sealed envelope resting on the desk. Plain. No name written on it. Just a quiet presence, waiting. My ex frowned slightly. "What document?" he asked. The judge didn't answer right away. "It was marked private," he said. "To be opened at the right time." A strange tension filled the room. I could feel it in my hands, in my chest, in the way my heartbeat grew louder in my ears. I lowered my eyes, hiding the storm inside me. 7 years. 7 years of silence. 7 years of carrying the truth alone. I remembered the night I left our house for the last time. The small bag in my hand. The weight in my heart. The promise I made to myself as I closed the door behind me. One day, the truth would speak. The judge placed his hand on the envelope but did not open it yet. "Proceed," he said calmly. My ex straightened his shoulders, still confident, still unaware. I sat quietly, breathing slowly, holding on to one thought. He had spoken his lies out loud. Now it was the truth's turn to speak. The judge picked up the envelope slowly, as if he understood the weight it carried. The room fell completely silent. Even the quiet whispers stopped. Every eye followed his hands. My ex-husband leaned forward slightly, his confidence still intact, but something small shifted in his face. A tight line formed around his mouth. He didn't know why, but for the first time, he felt unsure. The judge broke the seal. The sound was soft, but it echoed in my chest. He pulled out the first document and adjusted his glasses. His eyes moved across the page, calm and careful. Then he paused. Just for a moment. That pause felt longer than all the years I had waited. "This is a medical report," the judge said. My ex laughed lightly, trying to hide his discomfort. "I've already explained that," he said. She was tested. The judge raised his hand again, stopping him. "This report," the judge continued, "is from 7 years ago. From the same clinic you both visited." My heart pounded. I pressed my feet firmly to the floor, grounding myself. The judge looked up, his voice steady. "It states that the wife showed no medical issues related to fertility." A sharp breath escaped someone in the room. My ex's smile faded. The judge turned the page. The report further states that the husband was diagnosed with infertility. The words landed like thunder. My ex stood up so fast his chair scraped loudly against the floor. "That's not possible," he said, his voice shaking. "There must be a mistake." The judge didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. "There is no mistake," he replied. The results were confirmed twice. My ex's face lost its color. His eyes searched the room, then fell on me. For the first time, there was fear in them. I met his gaze calmly. The judge reached back into the envelope and pulled out another paper. Then, slowly, a photograph. He held it up. A young boy stared back from the photo. Around 6 years old. Soft hair. Gentle eyes. Eyes so familiar they hurt. My ex froze. This child, the judge said, was born 1 year after the divorce. The room felt like it was spinning. The judge placed the photo on the desk. "A DNA report confirms he is your biological son." My ex's knees gave way, and he collapsed back into his chair. His hands trembled as he stared at the photo, his mouth opening but no sound coming out. Tears burned my eyes, but I didn't let them fall. I tried to tell you, I said quietly. Every head turned toward me. The doctor explained it. I continued. I begged you to listen. But you called me broken. You said I was useless. And you walked away. My voice cracked, but I stood tall. I found out I was pregnant after you left, I said. I tried to reach you. You never answered. My ex covered his face with his hands. I raised him alone, I said. I loved him enough for both of us. I protected him from your anger, your pride, and your lies. The judge nodded slowly and closed the file. This court recognizes the truth, he said. I picked up my bag and stood. My legs shook, but my heart felt lighter than it had in years. My ex looked up at me, tears running down his face. I didn't know, he whispered. I looked at him one last time. You chose not to know, I said. I turned and walked toward the door. Each step felt strong. Free. Behind me, the courtroom remained silent. Outside, the air felt warmer. For 7 years, I carried the truth alone. Today, it finally stood in the light. He lost his wife. He lost his son. And the lie he built his life on destroyed him.